Morning. I hope we're all well. I'll give it another minute or two for people to join, and you can get your notebooks ready and find your space and grab a tea, coffee, whatever you need. Great. Okay, maybe I'll get started. But morning, Shona. Yeah, it's really nice to see who's here. Last week, we looked at the heart chakra, and I was just looking back in my yoga teacher training notes and notebook and manual and things, and I thought maybe we could do a class today focusing on 4 of the other chakras together. Morning. And yeah, so I'm thinking we're going to focus on the root chakra. So at the base of our spine, the solar plexus, which is about where our belly button is, our throat chakra, which is at the throat, and our third eye, which is just between the eyebrows. So we're going to kind of combine those 4, which feel like quite a good distance, and focus on them today. Great. Okay, we'll just get going. And we're just going to start with a bit of mobility. So just kind of moving the body around before we start. So just finding a comfortable place to be. We're just going to drop the head and roll the chin from side to side. So looking at each shoulder, just in semicircles. Just really easing into the neck before we begin. And coming up, dropping your one of your ears to one of your shoulders, maybe placing a hand over the head, but really gentle. It's first thing in the morning. And just pulling the other arm away, just opposite direction, a bit of a stretch. And helping it up, we'll go the other side. Ooh. Need it on this side this morning. Nice, and then we'll just roll the shoulders back and forwards. You can have a little dance. And just leaning side to side, hopefully not hitting anything, or I might fall off the bed here, but just taking up all this space, really arcing that whole space with your arm. And then coming back up, we're going to reach up with both arms, looking up nice and tall. And on the exhale, dropping it down the center. And again, 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, sitting up even taller. So you need to sit on your sit bones. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale. And exhale. And when you exhale, closing the eyes, maybe placing them on the knees or palms facing up. You could even have the hands on the body if that feels like somewhere you want to be today. And just settling down. And maybe just noticing how that made you feel just moving around this morning. Gently easing into the body. And maybe taking a minute to notice how your morning has been so far. If you've been up and at 'em since the early hours, or maybe you've only been up for half an hour or 10 minutes. Acknowledging how you feel before we begin, how you feel this morning. Great. We'll now take a moment to think about our bodies and how our bodies are feeling before we begin. We've moved them a bit, we've stretched them, we've eased into the joints a little bit. And so we're now going to do a body scan from the top of our head all the way to our feet, just noticing each part, bringing a greater awareness to our whole body. So how's the top of your head feeling? And your face? If you feel like maybe you're scrunching your eyebrows or you're holding your jaw, just let that go. How's your jaw? Maybe opening your mouth and moving your jaw from side to side gently. How's your head feel on your neck? Does it feel nice and supported, or maybe leaning one forward or back? Trying to find a nice central place. Lovely. And how are the collarbones feeling? And the shoulders? Maybe you need to roll them back one more time just to sit up even taller. How are your arms and your elbows? How about the forearms and the wrists and the hands? And working your way back up, how's your chest and your ribs? How's your side body and your belly? How about your back space? Everything behind you. Does your pelvis feel really heavy into the ground? And again, maybe finding that nice alignment. Maybe moving the butt out the way or just sitting even taller. How do the hips feel in the thighs and the knees and the shins? All the way to the ankles and the feet. Great, so now we have a greater awareness of our whole body. We're going to move more inward and focus on our breath. So noticing how your breath is feeling before we change anything, just noticing where it's at, if it's heavy or staggered, or maybe it's quite shallow, or maybe you haven't even noticed it. A lot of the time at this point, I haven't noticed my breath, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a thing. And just gradually over time, letting that breath become deeper and deeper. Really feeling the whole torso. Lovely. We're going to do a really big inhale through the nose, and we're going to forcefully exhale through the mouth like we're blowing something away. So inhaling, exhaling. 2 more times. Inhale, exhale, inhale, And exhale. Lovely, blinking the eyes open. Come back to your space, maybe another wiggle, grabbing a drink, your tea, coffee, whatever it might be, or water. And we'll grab our notebooks. Lovely. So, like I said at the start, we're going to focus on the chakras today. And we're going to do 4 out of the 7. Yeah, 7. We done one last week, which was the heart chakra. And each of these written tasks will be dedicated to one of the chakras. So the first written task I would like us to do is based on the root chakra, which is the base of the spine. So really, really deep placement in the body. And the root chakra is healed by gratitude and grounding with the earth. So what I would like us to answer is, what am I fortunate to have, big or small? What am I fortunate to have? You could write a list, you could write 1 or 2 things, write as much as you want. What am I fortunate to have? Great, so finishing that one up when you're ready. I will move on to the second one. So the second chakra we're focusing on is the solar plexus. So that is the next one up from the root chakra. So we've got our root right at the base of our spine, and then we head up and we're just above the belly button. So really deep in the stomach. That so when we place our hands on our stomach when we're breathing, or on our chest, we're really focusing on our solar plexus chakra. Great. So we're going to focus on that one. And the solar plexus is healed by telling ourselves, I can. So using the mantra, I can, really heals that. If you're holding anything or you don't feel aligned with that area, positive self-talk is a great one for that. And so the question for this one is, what would I do if I had no limits? If I couldn't fail, what would I do? What would I do if I had no limits? What would I do if I had no limits? If I couldn't fail? So finishing that one off. And we have 2 more. So the next one, we're going to move past the heart. We're going to focus on the throat chakra. And that is based in the throat. And it is healed by communicating how you feel. So communicating how you feel with other people, of how you feel with yourself. It's healed by communication, which might seem like an obvious one. So for the question today, am I honest to the people in my life about who I am? Do I change myself to fit in, or do I show up authentically? So am I honest to the people in my life about who I am? Do I change myself to fit in, or do I show up authentically? I'm just finishing that one off. Great. And then we're going to move on to the final one, which is the third eye. There is one above that, which is the root of the top of the head, but we're going to talk about third eye today. And the third eye is healed by meditating. So hopefully, if you have a tense third eye or any restrictions in that area, it may be on its journey to healing through this class. Who knows? And so it's healed by meditating, listening to your heart or your intuition rather than your fear or your mind. So the question I'd like to ask is, when I make a mistake, do I use it as an opportunity for growth and learning, or do I criticize and punish myself instead? So when I make a mistake, do I use it as an opportunity for growth and learning, or do I criticize myself and punish myself instead? So finishing that off when you're ready, sort of being a little bit quicker because we got some meditating to do. Great, so popping a pen and paper to the side, maybe grabbing another drink before we get going. Oh, I need one. Great, okay. So we're going to go through each of those again, so starting from the root all the way up to the third eye. And in meditation, and like last week, each chakra has their own mantra, so their way of kind of calling to that place. So usually, or stereotypically, you might have heard of but each chakra has a different letters and different ways of doing that. So we're going to do that for each of them. And you can close your eyes or keep them open. But once we make the chant, we will then close our eyes and meditate for the rest. So we're going to start with the root chakra, and it's Lam. So Lam. Again, try not to make your lips touch until you're finished. And then I will talk to you a bit about that. So we're going to inhale normal, and then Lam for as long as feels good, closing your eyes and just breathing as normal. And I will go through a bit of meditation. So inhaling, Lam. So closing your eyes if they're not already shut. And just noticing where you felt that in the body. So the root chakra is depicted with the color red. It's at the base of your spine, gives you connection to the wider world. Issues with the root chakra can cause emotional and physical issues. And like we said in the written tasks, it's often healed with gratitude and grounding with the earth being so low. And while we're here with our eyes shut, I want you to inhale the color red in your mind. And on every inhale, you're trying to take that color in and take it all the way to your root chakra. So you're trying to breathe in really, really deeply and really send the breath all the way to there. So inhaling. So really imagining that on each breath, you're really sending the color red all the way to your root. And letting that dissipate. And we'll move on to the solar plexus, so just above the belly button. And the chant for that is Ram, R-A-M. You can keep your eyes shut or you can open them for this part. So R-A-M. And we'll just inhale normally, say that chant once, close our eyes, and we'll meditate again. So inhaling. And closing your eyes if they're not already shut and just letting that go. Maybe noticing where you felt that in the body this time. Maybe it was more towards the belly. Hopefully it was. If not, that's okay. So the solar plexus is above the navel in the stomach. It's fundamental in digestion, important for mental and your spiritual role. And like we said in the written tasks, a good way of healing the solar plexus if it feels trapped or stuck is to tell yourselves, I can. So positive self-talk. It's represented by the color yellow. And so we're going to take 3 breaths breathing in the color yellow and directing it to our solar plexus, to above the navel in the stomach. So breathing in that really deep, rich yellow. Great, and we'll move on to the throat chakra, which this is, the chant for this is Ham, so H-A-M, like ham. And we'll breathe in normally and chant that once. Ham. So closing your eyes if they're not already shut. And the throat chakra is represented by the color blue. It represents communication and self-expression. And a blockage in the throat can cause feelings of isolation, which we all know well after the past year and a half. It can be healed by communicating how you feel and being honest to yourself and those in your life. So we're going to inhale, breathing in the color blue towards our throat 3 times. Lovely. And the final one, the third eye, we can place 2 fingers on our third eye, whichever hand you want. And the chant is Sham, so S-H-A-M, Sham, or Sham, kind of looks like. So we'll inhale, Sham. You can let the fingers go. Third eye is placed above the eyebrows. It focuses on insight, intuition, and seeing the world how it is. The third eye is healed by meditating, listening to your heart or your intuition, rather than fear or mind. It's represented by the color indigo. So we're going to breathe in 3 times, really focusing on the breath, heading towards the third eye center with the color indigo. Great, we're going to do one final breath, and on the inhale, you're going to try and breathe from your root all the way to your third eye, going through all those 4 chakras. Inhaling, exhaling, and slowly blinking the eyes open. Come back to your space, back to your room, maybe rolling the shoulders out again. Going to grab our notebooks and just write down any words, thoughts, feelings of reflection. So that was a very, very quick fire session on 4 of the 7 chakras. So the root, solar plexus, the throat, and the third eye. And yeah, I want to say thank you so much for coming. Please thank yourself for coming. If you want more meditations along that kind of wavelength or that kind of path, I can definitely do that. Or if you want ones that are more general, like we've been doing in the past, that are more like theme-based, we can also do that. If you have any thoughts, feelings, or feedback or suggestions, throw them my way. But I'll stay on for another minute if you have anything you want to say. But thanks everyone. Also, Yaz will be covering Stretch and Relax on Wednesday, as I've been called away to Scotland last minute again. So she'll be covering, and I'll be back next week. But if I don't see you, or if Yaz doesn't see you in class, I'll see you next week. Thanks, Shona. Yeah, I find it so interesting. It's like just the way that you can target different parts in the body, whether it's with imagery or breath or even just like the thought of what you're doing while you're doing it. I find quite interesting. So yeah, we can definitely do more. There's 2 more we haven't touched on, so we can maybe focus on them another time. Oh, thanks, Pauline. Yeah, glad you enjoyed it. Maybe I can put on the Members Zone like a poster of the chakras, just so you can kind of see the colors and see what they look like. Yeah. Oh yeah, like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Okay, I'm going to head now, but I'll see you later. Bye, everyone.